The picture gives information about the chemical experiment. As we can see from the picture, on the left hand, there is a bottle with blue liquid in it. Also there is some chemical equipment, which allows the students to do the experiment. In the right of the picture, the man is monitoring the chemical experiment. Also, we can notice that the students are wearing protective glasses, and there are big windows behind them. In conclusion, the picture shows how a chemical class can be conducted. The following picture gives information about mean temperature world map. Data of different areas are displayed on the map. According to this picture, the largest areas of annual mean temperature are located near the equator. In comparison, the smallest areas of annual mean temperature are located in the Arctic and Antarctic. You can see from this picture that the most suitable area for temperature is around 60 degrees north latitude. In conclusion, this picture is very informative. The picture describes the wind machine. As can be seen from the picture, the wind machine is rotating counterclockwise, and the rotation uses the power of wind blades. We can also see that the advantage of this wind machine is its no pollution, and the disadvantaged part is its dependence on wind power. In conclusion, the picture shows a vivid description of the wind machine. The following graph gives information about the U.S. energy consumption by fuel. The items include coal, natural gas, and petrol and oil. The horizontal axis is the year, ranging from 1980 to 2030. According to this graph, in 1980, the consumption of coal is around 15, and that of natural gas is higher, which is around 20. According to this graph, the highest consumption of coal is around 30, which is in 2030. According to this graph, the lowest value of natural gas is around 15, which is in 1985. In conclusion, the consumption of petrol and oil is higher than coal, from 1980 to 2030. The following picture gives information about acid rain. And this picture shows a number of things. According to this picture, photochemical reactions are driven by the sun. You can see from this picture that the acid rain is a broad term that includes any form of precipitation with acidic components, such as sulfuric or nitric acid that fall to the ground from the atmosphere, in wet or dry forms. You can see from this picture that the acid-forming gases and particles have been linked to a variety of impacts, including forest decline, accelerated leaching of metals from rocks and soils, the decay of limestone, marble, and other building materials, and damage to the human respiratory system. In conclusion, this picture is very informative. The following graph gives information about the population age groups in Australia. The items include female, male, and age. According to this graph, in female, the value of age from 40 to 59 is around 13. And that of the male is higher, which is around 13.5. You can see from this graph that the highest value of age from 0 to 19 is in male, which is around 14. You can also see from this graph that the highest value of age from 20 to 39 is in male. In conclusion, this graph is very informative. The picture shows different eclipses. When we look at the left-hand side of the picture, we can see the sun. In the middle of the picture, we can see the moon, which is on the moon's orbit. On the right of the picture, there is the Earth, which orbits around the sun. As we can see in the picture, when the sun, moon, and Earth parallel each other, we can see the shade of moon called penumbra creating the partial eclipse. We also can see the middle of a shade called umbra, which means that there is a total eclipse. In conclusion, this picture shows the formation of different eclipses. This picture gives information about % of university and college students who did educational activities by the hour of the day on weekdays from 12 a.m. to 11 p.m. According to the picture, for full-time students in blue, the largest figure can be found at around 12 p.m., which is around 36%, and the smallest figure can be found at around 3 a.m., which is around 0. For part-time students in green, the largest and smallest figure can be found at 10 a.m. and 3 a.m. respectively, which is 20% and 0 respectively. In conclusion, no one is studying at 3 a.m. The following picture gives information about Australia inbound visitors. The items include countries and years. According to this picture, in New Zealand, the value of 2005 is around 1099. And in Japan, the value of 2005 is around 570, which is lower. You can see from this picture that the highest value in 2006 is around 1073. You can also see from this picture that the lowest value in 2006 is around 410. In conclusion, 2005 has the highest number of visitors. The following picture gives information about Earth crust. This is a very beautiful picture, and it shows a number of things. According to this picture, the first layer is the atmosphere. Followed by that, the second layer is the crust. You can see from this picture that the third layer is the mantle. You can also see from this picture that the next layer is the outer core. The final layer is the inner core. In conclusion, this picture is very informative. This picture gives information about climate zones for temperature and humidity. According to the picture, the largest area can be found in the hot dry summer, cold winter in yellow. It is in the middle of Australia. However, the smallest area can be found in the cool temperature in blue. It is in the southeast of Australia. It also mentions information about other areas, including hot humid, warm humid, temperature and so on. In conclusion, different areas in Australia have different climates. The following picture gives information about the proportion of the Eat Well plate. The items include fruit and vegetables, bread and rice, food, drinks and so on. According to this picture, the proportion of fruit and vegetables is around 35%, and that of milk and dairy food is lower, which is around 18%. You can see from this picture that the highest proportion is fruit and vegetables, which is around 35%. You can also see from this picture that the lowest proportion is food and drinks high in fat, sugar, which is around 8%. In conclusion, fruit and vegetables have the highest proportion of the Eat Well plate. The picture gives information about different arm bones. As we can see from the picture, the human has the largest upper arm bone. Following that, birds and bats have the longest lower arm bone and they are almost the similar length. After that the bats have the longest metacarpals, however, the seal limb has the longest fingers. In conclusion, different body structure has different kinds of bones. The map gives us information about the tropical rainforests of the world. As we can see from the map, all the continents include North America, South America, Europe, Africa, and Australia. However, when it comes to the tropical rainforests, we can only find them in the northern part of South America, the middle part of Africa, and the Philippines, Borneo, and New Guinea. In conclusion, we can see that the tropical rainforests are largely distributed near the equator. The following picture gives information about backshot water wheel. It shows how the process is done. The steps include head race, rotation, and tail race. According to this picture, the first step is to abstract water to the head race. According to this picture, the second step is water push the water wheel to rotate. The final step is the water to the tail race. In conclusion, the process will repeat. The following picture gives information of the Iron Age hut. According to this picture, this is a cross-section of an ancient hut, which is triangular in shape. In the middle of the picture, you can see a pillar supporting the sloping rafters. And the roofs are covered by reed thatch. In the hut, you can see ashes and seats below the ground level. On the ground level, you can see the turf wall. In conclusion, this picture is very informative. The following map gives information about Australian population density. Data of different areas are displayed on the map. According to this map, Melbourne and Sydney are the most populated city in Australia. In comparison, the smallest population is in the middle of Australia. You can see from this map that Queensland will become the third largest populated city in Australia. In conclusion, this map is very informative. The map shows us the annual sunshine hours for France. According to the map, more than 2,750 hours, which is represented by dark red, is located in the southeastern part of France. After that, 2,250 to 2,750 hours, which is represented by orange, is located in the southern part of France. Noticeably, the 1,750 to 2,000 hours, which is represented by yellow, is located in the middle and the majority areas of France. However, less than 1,750 hours can only be found in the northern part of France. In conclusion, France has relatively long hours of annual sunshine hours generally. The following picture gives information about ancient Egypt trading. It shows how the process is done. The steps include import goods and export goods. According to this picture, the first step is to import cedar oil and timber from Lebanon. According to this picture, the second step is to import copper, precious stones and gold from Nubia. You can see from this picture that the third step is to import slaves and animals from Africa. You can also see from this picture that the next step is to import horses, fruit, and honey from other countries. The final step is to export linen, tools, beads and weapons to other countries. In conclusion, this picture is very informative. The following picture gives information about the beginning of the flow chart for the quiz. It shows how the process is done. The steps include clicking to start the quiz, clicking to go to the next question, and click True. According to this picture, the first step is to click to start the quiz. Followed by that, the second step is to go to question 1. You can see from this picture that the third step is to click False or True. You can also see from this picture that the next step is to click to the next question. The final step is to go to question 2. In conclusion, this picture is very informative.